5:03 now. Want to get you to that breaking news we are following this morning out of Michigan, learning at least 3 students are dead, 5 more injured after a shooting. This happening at Michigan State University.
Yeah, officials have confirmed the suspected shooter is also dead. Now, police say they couldn't find the shooter for a few hours after that shooting happened, but eventually they confirmed he had shot himself. Witnesses say the first shooting happened at an academic building just a few minutes after 8 last night, and a second shooting was reported at a student union. The suspected shooter was later found dead off campus.
Police and emergency responders acted quickly. We tended to the victims at both of those scenes, and there was an overwhelming law enforcement response to campus to help with this situation.
Students will not go back to class for a couple of days, not what any college student should have to experience in their school experience here. You can see folks here walking through campus following that news around 8 o'clock or so last night. I do want to show you these images as well of the suspected shooter released by campus police. Again, they say he took his own life. We don't know much about the suspect at this point other than the fact that he's a 43-year-old. Not clear what his connection, if any, was to the school, and obviously, as we see so often, questions about motive as well, still unclear. As we get new information throughout the morning, we will bring that to you right here on Fox 61. Breaking overnight in El Paso, Texas, learning 1 person is dead, 3 people hurt after a shooting at a shopping mall.
Yeah, police say 2 people are now in custody this morning, and police did not comment on a possible motive, and they have not provided any details on the condition of those 3 victims who were hospitalized. However, the mall is still considered a crime scene this morning, and it will remain locked down until authorities complete their investigation. Well, right now, police are still trying to figure out exactly where that shooting happened inside the mall.
We think at the approximate area of the food court, but that's not confirmed at this time right now. We don't know the exact location.
Investigators say this shooting happened right next to the Walmart store where 23 people were killed back in 2019.
5:03 on a Monday. We do have breaking news for you this morning. This out of New Orleans, learning 1 person is dead, 4 others hurt after a shooting at a Mardi Gras parade in the city. Let's get to what we know at this point. According to police, this all happening last night. Police say the 4 shooting victims were injured, that they are in stable condition. Police did make an arrest and also found 2 weapons. Not clear at this point. As you take a look at a very crowded scene here, what led up to that shooting, we will keep an eye on that from our breaking news center throughout the morning. Lauren, thank you so much. 5:03. The man accused of carrying out a deadly mass shooting at a medical facility in Atlanta is, somebody we want to point out, in custody this morning.
Yeah, and I'm sure that is a sigh of relief for many folks out in Atlanta. A 24-year-old Dion Patterson is accused of killing 1 woman and injuring 4 other women. Now, police arrested Patterson at around 8 o'clock last night. Check out this video from overhead here. This aerial video shows him in handcuffs being taken into custody, Keith.
Yes, and so according to police, Patterson had an appointment at the medical building and started shooting shortly after he arrived. We know the victims were all women ranging in age from 25 to 71. One woman who was inside the building describing not only what she initially saw, but then the chaos that unfolded.
I just heard gunshots. Well, at first I didn't know exactly what that was. I've never been in a situation like that before, and I've never seen someone shot down either. A couple of my co-workers got shot.
She was just saying she had seen some of her coworkers gotten shot, and it was an awful situation, saw blood as well. Investigators revealing the suspect is a former Coast Guard member. A Coast Guard spokesperson saying he was discharged from active duty in January of this year.
Well, again, the suspect accused in this shooting is in custody this morning.
Yes. All right. Police have yet to release a possible motive in this or if the suspect was connected to any of the victims in really any way.
We have breaking news overnight. More than 1,500 people have been confirmed to have died after a powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake epicentered in Turkey hit early this morning. Of course, when it is that strong, the effects are felt throughout other countries, including Syria. Many other ones we're hearing as far away as Cairo, seeing some reports that even seismographs in Japan were picking up some of the shaking from this. And on top of all of this, there has been an aftershock strong enough to be one of the strongest earthquakes of the year in its own right, a 7.5 located a little further to the north of the initial 7.8. It happened about 5:30 this morning. Now, on the left, you're seeing Azmarin, Syria, where the earthquake caused several buildings to fall to the ground, killing hundreds more. It's also believed that hundreds are still trapped under the debris. On the right is the scene in Diyarbakir, Turkey, or Diyarbakir, sorry, I should say, where several buildings, including a hospital, collapsed to the ground, killing nearly 1,000 people. Unfortunately, that number, 1,500, is most likely going to go way, way up. But the searches are continuing, people trying to find survivors in both locations. Once we have updates, we will bring to those updates live on the air, of course.
All right, it is 5:16 on a Wednesday morning. The latest out of Syria and Turkey. Here, just some of the imagery we are seeing days after that region just rocked by this massive earthquake. We have a map here to provide some context as to where this all unfolded. This, as we're learning at this point, more than 9,600 people have already been found dead as a result of all of this. And again, you can see this quake hitting so much of this region. It was a deadly 7.8 magnitude earthquake, and parts of Turkey and Syria just demolished. Quakes being felt as far away as Cairo, across the Mediterranean Sea. At least 125 aftershocks measuring 4 or higher in strength on that Richter scale occurring in Turkey and northern Syria. You see this man here, a dramatic scene unfolding in one Turkish city as that man is just bravely snaked through that collapsed rubble there. And they did what they could to save his life, cheering amid tragedy here. You know, each life saved is a major victory given the scene that we have seen unfold. Some 70 countries, including the United States, sending search and rescue crews, supplies being sent from here in Connecticut and around the world to help folks who are just left with nothing.
The current situation requires us to take extraordinary measures. We decided to declare a state of emergency so the search and rescue activities can be carried out rapidly.
The region sits on major fault lines which can cause earthquakes. About 18,000 people killed in one that hit Turkey back in 1999.